Hello everybody and welcome back to Reading with Grandma. Today we are going out to the farm for a visit. We are going to read another Walt Disney book called Grandma Duck's Little Helpers. This is with Grandma Duck, Donald Duck, and Huey, Louie, and Dewey, his little nephews. And they are going to a farm to visit. So let's get started with our lovely adventure on the farm. Donald Duck was going on a trip. His nephews, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, were going to stay with Grandma Duck while Donald was away. Donald told them what to do to get ready. Huey, Dewey, and Louie packed up the car. They took their toys and their games. They took their balls and their bats. They took their fishing rods and their picnic baskets. Then Uncle Donald drove Huey, Dewey, and Louie to Grandma Duck's farm in the country. The boys were so happy. They could not wait to get there. "We will have so much fun playing," they said. "Don't forget," said Donald, "you are here to help Grandma too." Grandma Duck met them on the porch. "Here are your little helpers, Grandma," said Donald. "I am sure they will get a lot done." "Of course," said Grandma, with a smile. Then the four waved goodbye to Donald as he drove off. First the boys unpacked their things. Huey hung up his coat and his hat. Louie unpacked his bag, and Dewey took out his ball and his bat and his other toys. At the dinner table, Grandma said, "Tomorrow will be a busy day. I am going to plant some wheat, so we must all go to bed early." The next morning, Huey, Louie, and Dewey ran to the barn to get the gardening tools Grandma wanted. They were all ready to help her plant the wheat. But when they went into the barn, they found a bicycle with 3 seats. They climbed up on the bales of hay and took down the bicycle. "Let's ride it," they said. They forgot all about the planting. The boys took the bicycle out of the barn. Grandma Duck saw them. "Are you ready to help me plant the wheat?" she asked. "In a little while," Huey, Louie, and Dewey said. "We want to try your bicycle first. We will be right back." Then they waved and rode away. "Well," said Grandma Duck, "I guess I will have to plant the wheat myself." So she took her hoe and she made neat rows into the earth. Then she planted the grains of wheat one by one. Finally she raked the loose earth over the grains of wheat. Grandma Duck was very tired when she finished raking. She heard a sound on the road and looked up. It was Huey, Louie, and Dewey returning from their ride. "We are ready to help you now, Grandma," they called. Grandma was angry. "You're too late," she said. "I have planted the wheat myself." "Oh, we're sorry," Grandma said to the boys. The summer passed quickly, and the wheat grew tall. It was ready to be cut. "I will ask the boys to help," said Grandma. She found Huey, Louie, and Dewey in the backyard. They were digging up worms. "Will you boys help me cut the wheat?" she asked. "Yes," they said, "but we are going fishing now. We will help you when we get back. We won't be long." "Well," said Grandma Duck, "I guess I will have to cut the wheat myself." So she cut down all of the stalks. She gathered up the stalks together and tied them into big bunches. Grandma Duck worked all day. When she was finished, she was very tired. She looked up to see Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They were each carrying a fishing rod and fish. "Hey, Grandma," said Dewey. "We brought some fish for dinner," said Huey, "and we're ready to help you with that wheat," said Louie. "Thank you," said Grandma Duck, "but you are too late. I have cut the wheat myself. I could not wait all day for you." "Oh, we're sorry, Grandma," said Huey, Louie, and Dewey. "It will not happen again." Soon the grain was dry. It was ready to be taken to the mill. "I could use some help from the boys today," said Grandma Duck. She found Huey, Louie, and Dewey in their bathing suits. They were getting ready to go to the beach. "Will you help me take the wheat to the mill?" she asked. "Yes," said Huey, "when we come back from the beach." "We won't be long," said Louie. "Well," said Grandma Duck, They always find something else to do first. I guess I will have to load the truck myself. Grandma drove her blue truck to the mill. The miller ground the grains of wheat into the flour. When the miller finished, he tipped his hat and said goodbye to Grandma. Goodbye, she said. Then Grandma drove home with 2 sacks of flour in the back of her blue truck. When she reached the farm, the boys were waiting for her. Here we are, said Huey. We're ready to help, said Louie. How do we start, said Dewey. Said Grandma. You are too late, as usual. I don't need your help any more. Now I am going to bake myself a cake with the flour from my wheat, she said. And she did. She sifted the flour. She mixed the batter. Then she put the batter into the cake pan and put the pan into the oven. The boys stood and watched. Soon the cake was done. Grandma Duck took it out of the oven. It smelled so good. Wow, said Huey, my favorite cake. Don't bother to frost it, Grandma, said Louie. We like it just the way it is, said Dewey. Ha, said Grandma Duck. You did not help me plant the wheat. You did not help me cut it. You did not help me load the truck and take the wheat to the mill to be ground. I did without your help then. I can do without your help now. So run along. Then she took the frosted cake to the table. The boys were very sad. They went out and sat on the front steps. They could still smell Grandma's delicious cake. Grandma is right, said Louie. We didn't help, said Huey. Now we don't deserve any cake, said Dewey. Let's go tell her we're sorry. So Huey, Louie, and Dewey went back into the kitchen. We're sorry, Grandma, they said. We should have helped you instead of always doing what we wanted to do. Well, said Grandma, I will forgive you this time, but please remember that we all have to help one another. Just then they heard a car in the driveway. They ran to the door. It was Donald. He was back from his long trip. Welcome back, Donald. We were just going to have some cake. They went inside and sat down to the table. Everyone had a great big piece of Grandma's delicious cake. When they finished, Grandma said, Now, who is going to help with the dishes? I will, said Huey. I will, said Louie. I will, said Dewey. And they did. Louie scrubbed the pots and pans. Dewey washed the dishes and glasses. Huey wiped the kitchen table. My, they are good workers, said Donald. Grandma just smiled. Soon it was time for Donald and the boys to go home. Grandma waved goodbye. Come back soon, she said to Huey, Louie, and Dewey. I am always happy to see such good workers. We will, said Huey, Dewey, and Louie, as they drove off with Uncle Donald. And that is their end of our adventure at the farm. So yesterday's story we went to the jungle. Today we went to the farm. Now leave me a comment and let me know where you all would like to go next. What would you like to hear? Where would you like to go on your reading adventure? I'd be sure to check on the comments every day and I'll look into it and get the book that I need to tell your story. Make sure to like, hit the bell so you know when I'm reading again, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a nice comment. All right, boys and girls, don't forget, never stop reading. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.